Hello everyone and welcome to Movie Review UK and my review for Despicable Me 3. My name's MJ, by the way. Despicable Me 3. Now, I'm pretty much a passing fan of the Despicable Me movies. I think the first one is pretty great and I think the second one is pretty good. So yeah, I think the character of Gru is decent, of course played by Steve Carell, and he's crafted a fairly good movie universe. If you look at the Minions, I find them as irritating as hell. They are kind of lowest common denominator humour, aren't they? It's just completely stupid and silly, and that is not my style of humour at all. For example, the new Illumination Studios logo is basically the different characters going Illumination, and then they hit each other so that they can't say it, and then there's farting, and it's humour that doesn't meld with me. I'm all for silly and I'm all for immature humour, but this stuff like that has no content. It's basically relying on the zaniness and just the portrayal and the weirdness of Minions, and to me I don't find that funny at all. So yeah, in the other Despicable Me films, it certainly doesn't take away from the films, and it's just, you know, there's enough jokes there, and particularly kind of adult jokes, or jokes that could be, you know, meant for adults as well as children, family friendly, yeah, jokes. There's enough jokes there to actually enjoy. Now, having said that, you may think that my next point will be, oh, so there's obviously more Minion humour in Despicable Me. Not true, actually. Just a quick drink break. No, there's actually just not much of anything in the new one. The plot is kind of three different films in one, really. That you've got the Minions go to prison plot, which is essentially unnecessary. Don't really know why they did it. You've got the Gru's found a brother plot, which is fine, passable. And you've got the Balthazar Brat plot, which is probably the best one. He's basically just a villain, an 80s kind of villain who had his own TV show back in the 80s, and he basically loves all things 80s. So he's got like shoulder pads, he plays with Rubik's Cubes and chews bubble gum and listens to Michael Jackson. And he's brilliant. He's voiced by Trey Parker as well, so he's just an absolutely excellent character. And there is one scene in the film which was actually the first and only thing I saw of the film before watching it. It was actually I think it was the first teaser trailer, was an entire kind of ship heist scene, and it's really good. It's probably the best scene, not probably the best scene in the whole movie, it is easily by far the best scene in the whole movie. And actually when I saw that I was like, wow, that looks really good. It's a shame that literally the rest of the film does not live up to that scene at all. Balthazar Brat feels completely underused. Trey Parker does an amazing job with the voice acting, and he is a funny character, and most of the laughs come from him. I say laughs because I'm not 100% sure if I ever laughed out loud. I think the most I laughed was like that, and I maybe did that 3 times, and I maybe did this, smirked, maybe another 3 times. So for me there was 6 laughs in about an hour and a half. My wife didn't actually see her laugh a single time, even in the few times where I went like, I didn't see her react whatsoever, and then she confirmed it after the film that yeah, she didn't laugh. I thought it was just completely void of content, imagination. There was too many plots going on. I didn't see why they were all necessary. I don't even see why the whole brother plot was necessary whatsoever. They just wanted Steve Carell to voice another, I guess they wanted to make another Gru. They almost wanted to replicate the success of Gru, but you've already got Gru. So weird. And yeah, it is completely void of content. There is no humour whatsoever. Even the Minions aren't overly annoying. The Agnes character isn't overly annoying, and it was just thoroughly unenjoyable. It's one of the worst animated films I've seen in years. It's unambitious, it's unimaginative, it's really boring. It's really boring. And I'm really surprised to say that, because I was looking forward to it and I thought it was going to be a solid film. I thought, you know, there's no way it's not going to be at least slightly entertaining. But it was not entertaining in the slightest. Some of the animation looks quite nice. Particularly there's a few scenes in the rain. Those look quite good. And there's some quite good vehicle design. And as I say, Balthazar Bratt's design is amazing, and he's such a good character, but just criminally underused. And I've heard people saying this is the best one. It's easily the worst. It's the worst by far. It's one of the worst films I've seen in a long time, and I'd give it 4 out of 10. Please let me know in the comments below what you thought of Despicable Me 3. If you've seen it, I would be very interested here. One more thing as well, it was very annoying in the screening that we went to, because there was a group of women sat behind us, and one of them was going, like almost every scene she was going, ah, like when something cute happened. Oh my, it was absolutely unbearable. But you know, you get ignorant, selfish people in the cinema. So thanks very much for watching, everyone. Hope you had a nice time watching this video, and I would say don't go and see Despicable Me 3. Ciao.